Danae Costello is doing her weekly shopping. For most of us, this is a routine chore, but for Danae it can be quite a challenge. No racing through the supermarket, everything has to be read in meticulous detail.
Just having to check labels of everything you eat before you eat and just really being aware of what you can and can't have.
Corinne and Danae suffer from celiac disease, an autoimmune condition that affects the body's ability to process gluten. With gluten in a wide array of common foods, having the condition can mean endless complications.
Probably better preparation, like going out, having to eat before you go out, because there's not always a lot of options before, like going to more so like malls and stuff, the food courts and things like that really don't have any gluten-free options.
As a genetic disorder, it's common for multiple family members to suffer from celiac disease, but it's only recently that the condition has become better known and understood. For people like Corinne and Danae, that's meant battling with symptoms that went undiagnosed for years.
I always got really sick and bloated eating things like breads and cereals and anything that was like high gluten sort of foods, pastas, anything like that. So I always, my whole life, had sort of hated those foods and struggled with things like breakfast and lunch because most foods like sandwiches and cereals made us feel so sick. And it was mainly just sore stomachs and bloating type of thing.
I had a bit more severe stomach pain. I would be out for 2 weeks, couldn't eat much, couldn't move, I was in bed.
Apart from fatigue, discomfort and mood swings, celiac disease can have more severe health implications, and if left untreated it can result in early onset of osteoporosis, liver disease and even cancer. With 1 in every 100 Australians estimated to suffer from the condition, it's far more prevalent than we realise. 75% of sufferers don't even know they have it.
Celiac disease appears to be a disease of our modern society, like type 1 diabetes and multiple sclerosis. So it does appear to be increasing, but with better testing methods and it certainly has more risks.
As president of the Celiac Society, Graham Price is a driving force behind the Gluten Free Expo, an annual event to raise awareness of the disease and in particular to promote gluten-free products.
Disease has been increasing gradually over the last 10 to 15 years. The introduction of blood tests in the late 90s certainly raised the diagnosis rate. It's also a proportion of the population who are gluten intolerant rather than having celiac disease. And the Celiac Society runs this expo with the sole purpose of exposing our members to the latest available foods.
It's becoming more well known.
Yeah.
Every state now has one of these celiac shows or gluten-free shows, the Celiac Societies and all of that sort of stuff.
Stall owners like Tamara Aquilina say things are getting better, but there's still a long way to go.
I mean, in Melbourne, I've got a friend that she travels like 2.5 hours to buy her bread because it's the only place that she can get fresh baked gluten-free bread. And that's the thing, there's not a lot of awareness of it.
Even now that I do work in a supermarket, I recognise a lot more people do have celiacs and they're requesting it, but they're not always meeting the demand of how people want these products. Yeah.
The health food section of the supermarket, that didn't exist previously, and it's gone from being something that took up 2 bays in the shopping aisle to then 4 bays. Now you've got whole aisles that are now all health food, whether it's nut-free or celiac.
Celiac disease is diagnosed with a simple blood test performed by a GP, followed by a biopsy of the small intestine. For sufferers like Danae and Corinne, getting diagnosed was the beginning of a better understanding of their condition. They can only hope that with greater awareness and more diagnosis, their gluten-free food choices will become better catered for in the future. This is Caitlin Meredith for The Milk Moustache.